Let's talk about policing. Will the world turn to shit if this system is dismantled? I believe in the abolition of this whole policing system throughout the world. I believe in community intervention and accountable punishment for crimes will be a far better system than the one we're currently in. I'm under the impression we all know how the policing system started and operates, right? And we all know how policing started in America, no? Okay, all right, so let me tell you something real quick. Born from the idea that certain groups, black people, were less than human. During the conception and birth of this systematic antichrist, those people were considered as property, objects to be used however the devil saw fit. Bought and sold, it's akin to what we do now with our livestock. Ain't too much has changed, huh? Property protectors and retrievers. From the start, police operated with racist biases. The system was built on it. And without change, how do we expect the police to do any differently than how they're indoctrinated? You see, slave patrol was the name of the game. These people taking up the job, they didn't do it because they wanted to protect anyone or anything. They were getting paid. It's a job. See, and the funny part is, right, this is what really gets me, that these people hired for the jobs were like criminals and gangsters and just some other white men who want to get paid. At this time, the privatization of police, yet to actually be called the police, continued up until the first organized, publicly funded, professional, full-time police service was established in Boston, 1838. Remember how I mentioned slave patrol? Over the years, as slavery became a scar in the past, slave patrol became less about slave retrieval and more about exclusion from the others of property, wealth, and prosperity. Slave patrol in the South was abolished around the time that slavery was abolished in 1860s, 14th Amendment. However, the legal tactics of the slave patrol reflected in the Ku Klux Klan. White supremacy is engraved into policing and still to this day is used as a vehicle for this oppression. Just scratching the surface, you can see how evil this system is. Established not by the people, but the few with capital and wealth. You can see how these people created the most prolific, the most violent form of subjugation, all backed by the name of law. And all we do is enforce this violent behavior and subjugation. See, the racist undertones of policing can't go away and will never go away because our country thrives on capitalism, the oppression created by white supremacy, and patriarchy. Perfect acronym for COP. We see the effects of policing all over the world. The militarization these organizations have done, and the terror they bring with this ideology and governance, allowing as recently as this recording, the genocide of the Palestinian people by what the Israeli government deems their military and police force. The Israeli Defense Force, the IDF, helps to train the American police force. And I want you all to see the difference between what the IDF is doing to the Palestinians and what the American police force is doing to the American citizens is simple. The open apartheid and not bombing us. Our history tells a vast story of how we actually hide the oppression that we do to its people. It's crazy. But the sooner that we acknowledge that we're living in a police state, the sooner we're able to change our material conditions, our reality. Enough about the sadness, but I want you to do your research on it. But here's some solution. Let's think about a world where community intervention exists, where accountable punishment looks more like rehabilitation, and we have more people able to deal with the members of our community struggling with mental health. Can you imagine how peaceful that would be? I don't think a lot of you can, so I want to help you out a little bit. It starts by believing a better future is necessary and possible. To do that, you must start to educate yourself, but very crucially, you need space in yourself for love and empathy, compassion. Now picture your politicians with the same love and empathy you have, attending your community meetings and events, speaking up for human rights instead of putting profit over people and seeking what we advocate for. Imagine yourself speaking up to those public officials, rallying with your community and getting this job done, working towards a better system, a better way of living, united, heard, protected, most importantly, free.